Hello everybody, Nell here from the Four Corners, and welcome to part 2 in our Ninjago Season 16 build series. Part 1 was a really long time ago when we literally had no details on Ninjago Season 16, so we completely imagined the set from scratch called Cole's RX-4 Vengestone Ambush. And coincidentally, Cole actually gets a car in the next season, so I guess that's pretty good that we're accurate so far. But now we have set names and details for that, so we can make sets and imagine them based off of that instead of completely aiming out in the wild. And today's set is going to be based around 71768 Jay's Gold Dragon Motorbike. Starting off with the bad guy minifigures, we have a Crystal Samurai. Unfortunately, the set details didn't really tell us how they're supposed to look, so I completely just imagined it here, making it robotic and kind of look like Pixel's version of Samurai X. Moving on to the main hero of the set, we have Jay, and thankfully the set description did tell us how Jay's kind of gonna look. They said he's gonna have these wings, and that's kind of how I've attached them over there. And I assume that if they're gold wings, then he'll probably have golden armor as well. So this is the look that we ended up with. And let me take off his weapon for a bit so that you can really see what the figure is. I kind of had this idea of making one half blue and then one half gold, which makes it pretty cool. It accents this headband here. It was pretty hard making sure I was able to balance that because I didn't want to make this guy completely gold, but I also didn't want to make him blue and just put these gold pieces and armor on. It turned out pretty well in the end, and I can't wait to see how these Angel Ninja minifigures are actually going to turn out. Now moving on to the side builds, the set description did tell us that we're getting this tiny little turret, and I didn't really like the sound of that because I wanted something to really battle this J bike. So I built this moving barricade. So the basic idea is you go to like a road, you put it down where there's fire and everything, and then you bring your character and you can operate this cannon from the back. And this cannon can go up and down, just like that. It goes more down than up, but you don't really need to go that high because you're fighting a bike, not a plane or anything. And then while you're rolling, you can keep these up and, shoot fire at people. So this is kind of my creative liberty that I took for the side build. It's probably going to be a lot smaller in the set. I also made sure it kind of followed the Crystal Samurai's color scheme just to keep things in theme and not totally random. Finally, coming over to the main build, this is Jay's Gold Dragon Motorbike. I made sure I put these giant gold pieces that were promised in the actual set, as well as put more gold than I usually would want to. And I also made it a little bit more off-road instead of the complete city look. Now I thought I went a little overboard with how much pieces I put in because this is a $20 set. But then I checked and compared it to another $20 bike and realized I wasn't too off, and just for size you can kind of compare. This is Lloyd's Jungle Chopper bike right here, and this is Jay's Gold Dragon Motorbike. And these aren't too off by size. So let me just take this out and now let's look at the actual features that I put in this little bike. Looking at the set description, it doesn't look like the official bike will have any actual play features, but this one definitely does. But first let me show you where Jay sits. There's a little speedometer in there, and he can fit in there with his wings, and kind of grip the handlebar. That's how it looks with his wings on. It definitely looks a lot more elegant and fun. This rolls pretty well as well. Really liked how that back wheel turned out. Now let me show you the main play function. So if we have the bike here, I think this is the best way to show you. You might notice some rubber bands, and that already popped out. You might also notice these things, and these can kind of act as a stand. But I'm gonna keep these up because these are actually locks, so that these gold blades don't pop out. This is how it works. All I take is my fingers, and then that's how that works. So if there is a bad guy, like the Crystal Samurai for instance, let me put this back, let me lock it in. I can roll in, whack them, and go. And if I want to keep these blades out, I can put these feather-like things in the front so that Jay has some doors. That way he's not getting shot from these sides. This is kind of the attack mode of the Gold Dragon bike. Now putting everything back to normal. Put the lock back in. And that is the main function of the bike. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I wish there was another way to activate these blades with the rubber band because it still involves manually pulling these a bit, but I couldn't really find any other way around it without making it too chunky. And this is a look from the back since I haven't showed you that either. And that is all for the main build. Now let's get to the final thoughts. In the end, I'm really happy with how this bike and Golden Jay turned out, and I also had a lot of fun designing this new concept of a moving barricade. That was pretty fun. But in the actual set, don't expect this much stuff to be there, because this feels like $25 to about $30 worth of Lego set. Just expect a lot less in the final product, which is a little sad because I really like another rolling thing to go against Jay's golden bike, but we'll see how the actual thing turns out. Comment down below what you think about this. Thank you for watching, and as usual, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.